The night was hot, and as usual, quiet and boring. I was working alone at my new grocery store gig, a job that often had me stocking shelves and sweeping floors in the solitude of an empty store, and I had gotten used to all of the loneliness. But that night, things went different. I was rearranging items in one of the middle aisles when I heard a loud bang coming from the back of the store. I grabbed the broom and slowly crept to go investigate. Just as I approached the rear door, it flung open. A tall, naked, and bloody woman barged in. Her eyes were wide with terror. She looked like she had just escaped hell. "Call the police," she shrieked, her voice trembling. I nodded, though I was too stunned to speak, but I immediately scrambled for the phone behind the customer service desk. I quickly dialed 911, trying to give the dispatcher what few details I could gather, as I watched a naked stranger pull a t-shirt from one of the racks. But after a short moment, I began hearing shuffling footsteps from out behind the store again. I turned around to see two large men bursting through the same rear door. Their faces were covered by their masks, but the intent of their movements was unmistakable. They never hesitated one bit. They were coming right for the both of us. My mind went blank for a second, and I accidentally ended the call with 911. "Come on," I screamed to the woman. I ran for the front exit, hoping she followed me, and we both successfully dashed out of the store. I fumbled for my keys, trying to keep my hand steady as I unlocked my car. Her and I jumped in, and I started the engine and sped away, all while glancing nervously in my rearview mirror. As she slid the shirt over her head, the woman continued to shake violently, dripping her blood all over my seats and floor mats. I asked what happened to her, but she wouldn't say. I drove as fast as I could to the nearest hospital. I pulled up to the emergency entrance and helped the woman out of my car, urging her to get inside quickly. Once she was taken away by the medical staff, I was left standing there feeling helpless. After making sure the woman was in good hands, I called my manager to explain to her what had happened. I was expecting her understanding and her concern. Instead, I was met with a tone of disapproval. "You left the store unattended?" she asked, her voice sounding annoyed. "And you gave away a shirt." The questions hit me like punches. I had just witnessed something horrific, and instead of receiving support, I was being interrogated. I wasn't wasting my time trying to explain that the safety of myself and the woman was my priority. If my manager was that pig-headed, I didn't want to work for her any longer. I quit, and without even letting her know. I went home that night, my mind reeling from the events of that evening. I never found out who the woman was or why she was being chased, or what happened to the men who were chasing her for that matter. There was no word around town, and the police never followed up with me about the incident. All I had were the bloody stains throughout my car as my grim reminder of that night. About a week later, I got another job at a bookstore, making even more money with better hours. And that same bookstore is where I would ultimately meet my fiancée. But for me, the memory of that night remained a haunting mystery, a chapter in my life that seemed to be left unresolved. Every now and then, I find myself wondering about that frightened woman who ran into my store, and those masked men, and the eventual positive turn my life took because of them.